got two of them already, but here come the Hydras. Here come the Hydras. And he's burrowing some more. Oh, these Hydras now should, in theory, get absolutely wrecked. Although, what? Hey guys, Rabbit here, and welcome back to another Starcraft Broodwar cast. Today we are on Polypoid, and we have a B Rank Zerg versus Zerg for you today. This replay comes to me from Tarpman. He is on various foreign Starcraft Broodwar Discords, and I am very excited to cast a ZVZ at a very high level. So let's get into it. Alright, so we have Tarpman here in the orange. He has the remastered early edition fire hatch, which is pretty cool. And so does our friend here on the ladder, who is a total random. We got no idea who he is. Alright, if you enjoy Broodwar casts, I'm here twice a week. Hit that like button, subscribe, and if you do, you will never die to another Ling Rush. Alright, so what sort of start are we going to see from these two players today? We are both building overlords, so we are either going to see an overpool or a hatch first opening. Both overlords going in the same direction are going to kiss along the way. Hello. Nice to meet you. Alright, so they're passing each other. They didn't stop. Man, you guys really ruin the cinematic beauty that these casts can be. Okay, so Tarpman's going overpool, and so is his opponent. So we've got mirror openings, pretty much exactly the same. So we'll see in this matchup. I'm not a ZVZ expert, but the game is really down to decision making within the context of what your opponent has already decided to do. So it's very often when the transition into lair tech to go Spire and Mutas happens, and can you survive if your opponent has decided not to do that and to maybe push out more speedlings. So we got a very quick gas from Tarpman on the side, which says to me it's a trajectory to a speedling lair kind of build, whereas his opponent has not gone for gas yet. So we already see a deviation in that strategy. Both players' second hatches are very similar in terms of how far they are. So it'll be interesting to see what units come out. Okay, so as expected on this side, it is a rush to lair. No speedling speed on the way as of yet. No gas at all on this side. So this just looks like 3 hatch ling, with potentially a transition in the plans a little bit later on. So it'll be interesting to see if this puts the blue Zerg in any trouble at all, or potentially enables the blue Zerg to apply some early pressure. Here he's bringing in his gas now. So it's basically gas after 3 hatches, whereas Tarpman is only on 2 hatch production, but he's got the gas flowing. Neither player at this stage has pursued ling speed, so it'll be interesting to see if that does ever appear in the production tab. So we'll have to just keep an eye out for that. So the blue Zerg's extractor is up, but he has no drones on gas yet. This is a high B rank game, so it's a bit surprising to see. I think the focus now is on holding any initial Zergling pressure that could come down, although he's got lings on the ramp, and I don't think Tarpman, okay, he's got about 10 lings out already, but his priority would seem to be a two hatch lair style, rushing mutas. I don't see an Evo chamber yet from Blue Zerg, so I don't know how he is going to repel the air units. I don't see any anti-air or any tech tree for anti-air. In other words, where's your Hydra Den if you're going to do Hydras? Where's your Evo if you're going to build spores? It's going to have to come up soon, or he's going to be in a spot of bother. Okay, so Spire's about just more than halfway done. So maybe due to my lack of familiarity with this particular match, which is very fair to say, there is a timing that the Evo and the spores go up. that's quite optimized, and perhaps that's what we need to look out for. Okay, so does the 3 hatches give the blue Zerg any advantage? He's floating a lot of minerals. I think being late on his gas and actually only having 1 drone on gas seems to indicate to me that this is intentional, that he wants to have a lot of minerals. What is he doing with his idle lava, which is here and here? He is just pumping out more drones. Tarpman has started 4 mutas. He's spent his money much more efficiently. He does have slightly fewer workers, but at this point in the game I don't think that's going to matter much. Here's our Evo. Okay, so the timing is pretty tight because the mutas are already around. In fact, here they come, and the Evo is still on its way. So let's see if they can get any damage done. Okay, coming in, probably going to pick off its Overlord first, which is a solid move. These games are so low econ that every Overlord really hurts quite a lot. There's been no Zergling move out from blue, which is a surprise because you may have slightly more. But the strategy from Tarpman here is pretty solid. Just pick off the Overlords. It does give the blue Zerg a little bit of time to get his spores up, so the spores are up. We might just see Tarpman actually pull back here, potentially consolidate and take a 3rd, which is what we see now, and just use these mutalisks as map control now that he's scouted the build of his opponent, which is 4 hatch Evo chamber. So 4 hatch Ling. There's no Hydra Den anywhere, and there's only 2 bases. So this is confusing to a dodo like me because I don't know what the strategy would be to try and win this game. Eventually you've got to go out onto the map with your opponents with your units and kill stuff. So this is pretty pro gamer here. Look at the split. Guy wants to see everything. Ah man, that's really cool. So he's just scouting the entire map to see, but hang on. Are you really only 2 bases with nothing in terms of anti-air? And the answer is yes. At this stage, there's another hatch. So this is just 1, 2, 3. I'm just kind of having a is this real life moment. 4, 5 hatch, nothing build. Versus 1, 2, 3 hatch, 4, soon to be 4 hatch Spire versus 5 hatch nothing. There's no lair, so he can only go Hydras if he wants to find anti-air. And there is no Hydra Den yet. There's the Hydra Den, but hidden away in the corner, man. Don't know when that was built, but I'm embarrassed that I missed it. But I feel better because I was just starting to go nuts. I was like, what is the plan here? Okay, so the plan is to send our Lings to all go die because they don't have speed. And Tarpman is going, okay, well that's some nice free Lings, thanks for that. And even if they get here, he's got tons of Lings to defend, so this is fairly pointless. I don't think it's scouting. Okay, so you just scouted that all your Lings died. Nicely done. Don't need to be freeing up supply. You've got plenty. The one thing about this is that this is a lot of production. Drone counts are similar. And Hydras do trade in numbers against Mutalisks pretty well. Tarpman at this stage seems pretty committed to flyers. He's researching Carapace and doesn't have a Hydra Den of his own, and therefore this is likely to be a Hydras versus Mutas fight. There's lots of anti-air here. This is very compact. So if it's a 2 base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hatch Hydra strategy, then that seems to be now 6. So it's to be a 3 base, 6 hatch Hydra strategy against a 3 base, 4 hatch Spire, i.e. Muta strategy. This is a very interesting dynamic. It's not the kind of fight you see in this match very often. If you watch this match a lot, you see a lot of Ling versus Ling games. And then as you go up in levels, you see a lot of Muta versus Muta games. This, where you have Hydras versus Mutas, you don't see it as often, but the Hydras are strong. And because he's gone with a pretty compact style, the counter-attack where you would harass while the Hydras are out on the map is next to impossible, because you've got all these spores here, and Mutas are pretty weak from a hull damage perspective. So let's see. Okay, so now he's bringing in the Lings to try and buffer and to make the Hydra's lives difficult, because now they need to choose what they want to shoot. And that's working out to be a very good trade for Tarpman. He's chipping away at these Hydras beautifully, and he's cancelled this expansion as well. So this base denial move is really good. I don't think Tarpman minds at all if blue camps in his 2 bases all day. He'll just take more and more bases. He's taken another one over here now. And just really enjoy exercising his map control. So I won't be surprised to see him go up to 8 hatches and just rally a whole heap of units here and wait for blue to come to him. He doesn't really need to pull in and attack at this stage. I think blue is the one that's going to make the play because of this build style. Alright, is he bringing in any more units to reinforce here? Here's some units that are sitting at his rally point that could potentially be brought into the fight. I think he's going to pull away here. And I think his biggest plan would just be more base denial. I think that will be critical. He's got an overlord here looking at this base. That's really good scouting. And I think, yes, bringing in his units here to focus on denying this base is probably going to be his main focus, and then continuously expanding and macroing up behind this. Up to 40 workers already. You can tell this game is at another level, because you so seldom see a ZVZ where either opponent's got more than 25 drones. This just shows you the difference in skill and strategies when you move up the rank. So this is a real quality B rank ZVZ, and it's an absolute privilege to be able to bring it to you today. Okay, so are we just going to park off here quietly and see if blue moves out? Because he will know. Here we go. Okay, so as expected, he is bringing in a flank. He's actually going to dive in here on these spores. Well, there's no Hydras here, so if he breaks the spores, he's going to break through, but this is a lot of spores. He's got 2 of them already. But here come the Hydras. Here come the Hydras. The Hydras are tearing us apart. Alright, all the spores are down. So it's Hydras versus Mutas, and the Hydras are winning. Hydras are winning. These Mutas have got to get out of here. I think I have mixed feelings about that move. I think in some ways I get it, because it now makes the main more harassable. He's got to rebuild those spores and kill 4 drones. However, I felt that this base, which is totally unprotected, would have been a great spot for the Mutas to engage with the Hydras all out in the open without any spore or any kind of additional support for blue. The other thing is, the Lings could have contributed to the fight, as we're about to see now. So let's see how this fight goes by comparison, although I don't think Tarpman thinks he has enough yet to take it. I think he's about to rally what he would feel is sufficient and go for it. So here we go. Dives in on the Hydras. The Lings are there to buffer. This really does help this fight a lot, because it's pure Hydra against Ling Muta, a fight that you don't see every day. Oh man, the Hydras are surprisingly strong. I mean, that supply trade, he was at 100 and I think he was about 120 versus 70, and it's just, he cannot trade efficiently like this. It's really, really hard. Mutas are just not strong in direct battle. They're more of a, I guess, an harassment unit, and their value is in their mobility as opposed to their combat power, for lack of a better word. I love Tarpman's vision. His Overlord presence is just outstandingly good. You can see every single potential expansion. He has got plenty himself. He's gone up to Hive now, which could potentially be... Well, he's also bringing in Hydras of his own and Lurkers. Wow, okay, so diversifying his unit composition to break these Hydras. Lurkers are good against Hydras. Cracklings will certainly have more penetration than the standard Zerglings that he has now. He's continuing to work on his upgrades. He's getting Adrenal as expected. Getting a Defiler mount if he needs to throw up some Dark Swarm, which will also make the Hydras all but useless because they are range units. Blue's gotten this base up. How, I don't know, but Tarpman's about to scout it, and I expect when he does, you will see a huge swarm of orange move out this way. He's taking yet another base himself. The amount of coverage we're seeing on this map is also something that you don't tend to see at lower levels. Alright, so here you can see he's just scouted this. Now, what is he going to do? Alright, well, he's moving some lings in here, potentially for a surround. So he is aware of the top right base. Okay, so he is killing multiple birds with one stone here. It's going to be very hard for me to track all this on the mini-map. He's surrounding here, but he hasn't moved in. So we can see here. So he's moving his Zerglings here to pressure this base because he's noticed this. We just keep an eye on the mini-map to see if this fight starts. Yep, it's about to start. Alright, so at the top he sent links to deny that base, and down here he's moving in with his lurkers. And I think this could be the killing blow. It's certainly going to hurt the hell out of this base. Ow. Ow. So many lurkers finds. He's got them down, he's burrowed them, and he's burrowing some more. Oh, these Hydras now should in theory get absolutely wrecked. Although, what? How did he hold that so easily? Is this real life? Okay, so this, as expected, was cleaned up by the cracklings. He's sending some Hydras across, I think to create a little bit of defense first and foremost. And secondly, to tidy up the remaining lings as they come back. I am absolutely in shock. I cannot believe a strategy as simple as 3 base Hydra is beating, what appears to now be beating Tarpman's game. I don't want to call it, but this blue Zerg is executing this Hydra strategy really, really well. He's now just building his lair. You know, your standard 16-minute lair timing. And he is pressuring one of Tarpman's bases. So this is for the first time we see him moving out of the map. Perhaps this is a problem, because it may create a little bit of a split. He doesn't have all his units now in one place. And I think Tarpman is really going to take advantage of this, because yes, he's pulled away his drones, but this hatch is toast. And still getting some penetration here. So Tarpman's going to have to send some units to deal with this. Sorry, this game is so action-packed, it's hard to keep track. So there's a fight here. I think Tarpman's going to clean this up because he's got units from all angles. And it looks like this is a stalemate where the lurkers are camping and the Hydras are waiting. Nice hack, bro. I don't know what he thinks he hacked, but okay. Just think he's been played a very one-dimensional style that Tarpman has responded very well to, in my opinion. I don't know about any so-called hacks, bro. Maybe people are quite salty at this level. Who knows? I wouldn't know. I don't swim in these very advanced waters. I rather just talk, and that for me is quite fun. Alright, so where are we in this game? I think Tarpman remains ahead. I did have a little bit of a concern for him when this attack with the lurkers was foiled. I think taking a base here for blue is very necessary, but potentially going to be a challenge because it can be hit from 2 sides. I think Tarpman's decisions now would just really be around where to target. Does he target this base? It's pretty exposed. Absolutely exposed. I just don't think he's scouted it, to be honest. Or he comes in here in a singular file. I think these lings will just get toasted. So honestly, I think the right approach is probably still to just try and break this area, because it's the passage into this base. And okay, so he is going for it. Throwing down the Dark Swarm. Getting some lurkers into the fight. Getting some cracklings here in the front. And getting these lurkers in is going to be very helpful. There's no Overlord here. This is going to be huge. Here comes the Overlord. And they've got unbelievable sight range. You won't believe how quickly they see things. Okay, so these Hydras are going to be cleaned up. And so is this base. There is no other major fight happening. This still remains neutral. This hatchery is toast. If Tarpman knew about this hatchery, it would also be toast. And I think that's possibly where he's going to go next. Alright, so just sending in lings, because at this stage he's got so much money, so much econ, that lings are free. Oh my god, Guardians. because we didn't have enough variety in this game. The only units that Tarpman has hardly used in this game is Hydralisks. He's made lurkers out of them. And Blue has used Hydralisks exclusively, with the exception of a few lings that are used in the beginning of the game. So, super interesting, the dynamics of this game. And well worth a study if you are a Zerg player and looking good at wanting to get good at ZVZ. Then I know that you are hacking, man. How is he hacking? I mean, what a joke. What an absolute joke. And what a sore freaking loser this guy is. Okay, well, if you want to leave, then leave, dude. Maybe a wanker. There we go. That's sad to see, man. Ladder's a place where there's a lot of bitter and very childish people. We all watched that game. We saw that everything that Tarpman did was 100% legit. He is got 5, I think if I count, 5 mining bases, 58 workers. He's got the econ to sustain the build. This twerp went with a 3-base strategy. The 3rd base got denied. Every expansion he tried to get beyond his original 2 bases got denied by good play. And he got thoroughly smacked. Anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast. I'm Rabidroo. I'm here twice a week with more excellent Brood War content. Until next time, I'll see you soon.